congratulations for your premiere. No? Or did you do the?
Yeah, it's the
third time. Ah, okay. If I may, now I would like to ask the audience first. What have you seen? What did you feel? What kind of image do you have after watching Markéta's solo? Mondjam magyarul is? Mit pedig már? Here's Mike. Maybe too loud, but so what have you seen? What have you feel?
Thank you very much. Hello. It's hard to say, but for me it was like the perfect performance. In terms of, I felt like a really connection with the music and the lighting, and knew your presence on stage. And I saw 2 legs, 1 leg, 3 legs, and then I saw a tail, and I was in the tail bone, and I was in the normally, and then I started to watch you as with the whole spine moving from the tailbone, and it was just truly beautiful. Also the length of the piece was perfect. I just, when you finished, I'm like, wow, and then it just ended. And like, in a way, I would like to see more, but it was enough. And thank you also for your laugh, your smile on stage in that way.
Anybody else?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think for me the most memorable part was when you were with the sticks. I don't know how to call it exactly. Yeah. In this meaning, I can join to the latter comment that I couldn't decide now which is the leg, which is the not the leg. It was somehow mesmerizing. But at the same time, I had the feeling that I couldn't see you often, not of course because of the lights and so, but I couldn't somehow meet you as a person or meet with your personality or to really see you. I had the feeling that often, yeah, you hide yourself, and I missed to meet with you more. Yeah. Thank you.
Just on this note of hiding, I thought that there were 2 moments where I very strongly felt. I also felt that it was very, like you were in complete control, and it was definitely an art piece, but I also felt very connected personally in a way, and there were 2 moments for that. One was in the beginning when I think you had a smile in a way like, this is hard, all this jumping. that just felt very human. And in the end, I forgot. Yeah, your closing smile, your expression towards the audience. I also felt that it very much felt like like art. We're seeing art, but it felt very, very connected. Thank you. Very powerful, very, very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for the performance. And what I wanted to share that for me, what I liked the most is that instead of seeing what was missing, we saw what was in, what was the kind of the added value. I don't like the word, but what was the added value on that? When we make the piece so unique, and so we can see something more than that it was irrepeatable, and then it was magical to see some movement that you couldn't see in other ways. It was really bringing something totally more and unique. Thanks a lot.
Anybody else? You can join us whenever you wish. So, can you introduce your team?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Good evening. This is Susanna, the light designer. Would you like to introduce?
But I'm not the light designer of the show, and that is another Susanna. We are two Susanna's light designers. And, yes, so my colleague designed the show, and now I am lucky to travel with it sometimes. So thank you.
And we're lucky to have you. Yeah. And this is Jan, the musician.
Hello.
That's it. Yeah, with Jan, we've known each other for quite a long time, since we were teenagers, and life coincidences just brought us together again, and I'm very happy for this, since the collaboration goes just naturally on. And the other designer, Susanna, I've known for slightly shorter time, but I just could see that we have something in common when I saw her other pieces, and I'm glad I asked her to collaborate on this piece, since I think she also did a good job of this thing. And thank you very much for all the comments, and I do thank you in the name of all of us, since this piece was meant to be, or it was created as a partner work. It was not, of course I brought the idea and the theme, but each part was really created individually and then put together. And so it's maybe me on the stage who is most active, but it's really all of us who did this piece.
And whoever didn't realize that the music was
Live, yes.
live music, though we were sitting upstairs. Does this mean that the music is changing, or you have a structure for the music which is following the scenes, but you play with the rhythm of the performance, and you also used some live recordings or sounds? Can you tell us more about your inspiration, or is it the regular way how you work, or it's specifically for this piece?
Okay, so I have two hoopers and cithara. It's the old Czech instruments. Basically, it's instruments which was used by Germans in former Czechoslovakia. So it's pretty old instrument. And in the show, I basically just follow Markéta's dance. That's it.
Yeah, they just wanted to reproduce music, and otherwise it's, yeah.
So I just found out something what fits to her movements.
But did you create the movement and the music together, or there was some movement material or scenes, and then you worked with the music for that? Okay.
Yeah, I first brought the material and then the music came. Yeah, I first brought the material and the music came. Thank you.
And as far as I know, this is your first longer solo.
Yes, even shorter solo. Yeah, it's my first
Solo of yours.
Yes.
You were appearing in that's how I got to know you in another piece from the Czech Republic. Also, you were very powerful in this and eye-catching. How did you come to the point
to make a solo?
Yes.
Yes. To be honest, it was just, I don't know if I say it properly in English, it was an artistic urge inside. I just felt I need to do something. And a couple of people encouraged me, seeing me working during some workshops. And another thing was that people kept asking me, how is it to live with a prosthetic leg? What is the difference? How is it to walk with the crutches? And I was explaining with words, and suddenly one day I realized, maybe just show how it is and show this effort, how much effort it costs in really everyday life, and what are the new options of the body, what actually is not missing but is extra. And so that was the other intention and the trigger in my creation also.
And, did you have any like mentor, outsider, inspiration? How you started to work? Because I think like for the first creation it's quite complex. Like like music, the visuality is also there. What you want to say, it's also tricky thing to put on stage for the very first time alone. Did you have anybody around you?
Yes, I brought them in. Since I mentioned, for example, the floor work, it started a couple of years ago during one workshop with the Belgian choreographer Karin Gauthier. And there was like a first click of, there might be something more developed out of this. So there was already some material I could start to work with. Then it was just for the other parts, the slightly short part with the prosthetic leg, or dancing without it, or using the crutches for my dance. I used my everyday life experience. And for the part with the crutches, I took part in a choreographic residency with coaching 2 years ago. So there was a mentor, Jean Boudin from France, and then Lucia Kaczera from Prague entered during the process, and she was following me in the last part of it. Yeah, so I appreciate their help a lot, since they helped me to structure my process and gave the precious advices.
And as far as I heard, you were working already something new.
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell us
a
little bit about it?
Yes, since I've mentioned already, I met Jean Boudin, the French choreographer, dancer. He's a very experienced one and capable one, and we just realized we have lots of in common. And me and Lucia, we dared to ask him. I say dared because I do respect him a lot. And so we asked him if he would be interested in some more collaboration. And so now we are working on a duet piece together. And it goes very well on. I love doing it. Anywhere it will be, the premiere is in April next year in Prague. But there will be work in progress presentation in November 2030 in Prague.
So whoever is around.
Yeah, whoever is around, please come. And he's a funny guy and a great one.
Now it's possibility again if you want to join the discussion, if you want to share something else. Use the time to... Le kell jönnöd, Gyuszi.
So thank you for this amazing performance, and I just wanted to say that for me the most magical moment was when you were sitting there on the, it's kind of like a mirror, and where it gave the impression that now you have again two legs, and so I really felt that it's like a cathartic moment, that where you showed that there is a loss, and it's kind of like a grieving, or like this kind of moment. I mean, I don't know, but it made everything else even more like stronger. So I was really amazed by that moment too. Thank you.
Anybody else? Sorry, the table is not long enough, so please come to the podium.
Hi, thanks for your performance. I'm really looking forward what you do next. Because in my opinion, I have to say, I found it almost a bit a shame that the performance is so much about you having one leg and not two, because for me it's not a question that I ask whether you can move. So it's like, I almost feel like it's like, you're pretty for a gay girl, you're smart for a woman, you're civilized for a black person, you can move for a disabled person, you know? It's almost like, I don't question that. So I'm very curious about what you do next, where maybe this, because you have a very specific body that is very beautiful and very unique. And I wonder if there's a way to work with this uniqueness without having so much focus on that you're different, you know? So I'm very curious. Yes, I would love to get your invitations. Thank you.
Last possibility. Grab the mic.
Any questions to the audience? Not question, I would just give a little comment on that. It comes up quite often, such a comment. And for me, during the creative process, I had to enter also this topic and tried to step over it, but then I realized it's somehow impossible. And it's I feel being an artist and performer with a different body, since I don't like the expression disabled. So I could see just, okay, we all do need to make such a piece to enter the scene, to enter the equal level, zero level, where to start with others. That's how it is now. Even I think it can be different in the future. And the companies I'm collaborating or meeting in abroad, they are already more experienced ones. They are slightly further. And okay, so I just start here. Step 1 is this. Step 2, I don't carry on. Even in my daily life, I mostly forget about this, absolutely. And but yeah, I realized I need to make a little step backwards. This is how it is, and then I can go keep walking. Yeah. So yeah, I know. Oh, I mean, no, just okay. Yeah, I just remembered. Another thing that interested me is when you asked about my inspiration or my intention. I'm also a physiotherapist, and I'm also a dancer since I was 6 years old. So there was certain obsession in the different types of moving my body when I walk with the crutches, when I walk with the prosthetic, like when I move without it. So I was really physically interesting. My point from the very beginning was very physical. Some story or narrative part came in during the process, but my intention was not to tell my story. Even many people can see it, of course, but yeah, I really focused I started building up on the physical tasks, absolutely physical.
So thank you very much. Also for the performance and that we managed to have you all here.
Thank you.
Markéta is still tonight, so please, we will watch the finished guest performance now, but you will be around. So if you have anything else to say or ask, this is the last chance here in Budapest tonight. So please feel free. And we will check the other space because Taneli's work will be in the hangar space. If they are ready, then we will enter immediately. If not, then after a short break, we make the announcement to enter, and that will be the last show for tonight. And hoping you stay with us until the end, because we would like to toast for the future as well as a closing. So please stay with us. And thank you very much.